It's spicy in Puerto Rico right now. $600 million in earned NBA salary down there. Yo, we're back. Finally, it's here. Welcome to the Hidden Gems Basketball Podcast, the place that leaves you with a gem after every episode. And we're back. It's been a long time coming. It's been like a year. It's been like a year since we had our last podcast. You know, it's been crazy, like, you know, even just the growth of both of us, you know, over this last year. I'm doing more voiceovers. You know, I have a show on Snapchat with the NBA, you know, breaking over content. Make sure you guys check that out. You know, Swish Cultures presents Top Plays. Make sure you take that out. And then, you know, Ray's overseas playing, doing his thing. Just tell him a little bit. What's new, bro? What's new?
My guy, I'm glad to be back, but don't downplay those voiceovers.
What you
You're
mean?
here on your little Drake swag. You dropping bars. You in the studio with it. You got the lights going. Nah, I'm everything's been good, man. I'm over here in France. Obviously, the season's about to wrap up here soon. But yeah, it's been a long year, long 10 months over here. But glad to get this podcast going again. Give the people what they've been missing.
Yeah, the people been missing. It's time for us to come back, you know, and give y'all great content. We're going to start giving you guys more, you know, frequent content about things that are happening right now. So, I mean, let's get into it right now. Lakers versus Warriors. I'm going to drop the bomb on that because it's been a heavyweight fight. We've been talking a lot about who's going to have the counterpunch in game two. Game one, if you missed game one, Lakers dominated. AD, 30 points, 23 rebounds. That was the thing that I came into this game thinking of. What was going to be the counterpunch that Steve Kerr came with? Because we knew that there was going to be some adjustments. From the beginning, they said that Kevin Looney was sick. I don't know if he was, but they had JaMychal Green in that starting lineup. And I think that changed everything for him. What did you think about that?
No, I mean, it made a huge difference. Obviously, JaMychal Green coming in, staying ready, true vet, true pro. 15 points in 13 minutes. You know, 3 for 6 from the three, 6 for 9 from the field. Like, you know, he was an X factor for real. You know, the spacing of the court. He gave him a different dynamic, a different look that you can't scout. I don't think the Lakers are really prepared for. He hasn't really played much throughout these playoffs, and you can just see the whole starting five. They were all finished the game in double figures. The spacing was better. They just had a better flow this game. So, but I think we'll see more balance though in game two from both sides. But I think now, you know, the Lakers go back to the drawing board and, you know, going to have to figure out how they're going to have to guard and play with JaMychal Green on the floor if he continues to play like that.
Yeah, and I like what I'm seeing. This is a heavyweight fight. Steve Kerr, what did he say?
Yesterday's price is
Not today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price. I'm coming in with a different outcome of this game from the start. Defensively, what they did with AD too. In pick and roll situations, AD was eating last game. They were a little bit more farther in the drop coverage. It kind of makes sense why, because you kind of have the after effects of that Sacramento series. You know, Sabonis gets more deeper seals. AD was getting to that short roll, hitting a floater, also hitting a little mid-range, and it was killing them. 23 points in that first half. So, you know, I was curious to see how they were going to do that, you know, and then they played a lot of Moses Moody, also, you know, Dante DiVincenzo. They were doing a good job on the pick and roll coverage, you know, bringing a body on AD too on the roll. So they were kind of like zoning up on the roll, like the rolls wasn't there. And that's how the Lakers were eating a lot last game. And, you know, just Klay Thompson hitting the shots. I mean, first game, he had 18 points in that first half. Second half, you know, he scored 25, only had 7 points in that second half. This game, he was hitting the shots in the second half. Yeah. You know, and then Draymond Green, too. 11 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. And Steph Curry, 12 assists. Yeah. Putting him more on the ball. You know, not having him off the ball. A lot of times, Jared Vanderbilt was able to shade him. And then when they were on an off-the-ball situation, I mean, Jared Vanderbilt's big, so he's running through screens, you know, blowing up screens. and doing things of that nature, and it was just tough on him. But I like the adjustments I saw, man. I like the adjustments,
and two, you also got to put in perspective, like, I think you also saw with Boston as well. You take two teams who were in the finals last year. Obviously, the Warriors have, probably the most experience. Game 2 at home, both teams know it's a must win, because you don't want to go on the road 0-2, to two teams that can potentially beat you. So this yesterday for me, it was an experience that really showed, what I mean? You just see the guys get together. And then also you got to think of, like, if I'm the Warriors, I look at Moses Moody, like he came in and had a solid game, 10 points off the bench. Depending on where they go next, I don't know how this series is going to play out, but that's going to help them a lot. That's going to give him a lot of confidence. That's going to give Coach Kerr a lot of confidence. And he's been getting more and more minutes as, these last couple of games been going on. And I think he can help at some point be a piece and a part of that team. When they have a night struggling shooting the ball, or someone that just needs to bring in energy. If you got a guy like him and Kuminga who can bring something off the bench with some young fresh legs, I think that would help also too.
Yep, and I know a lot of if you're a Lakers fan, you probably listening here like, I don't like what I'm hearing. I'm hearing a lot of glorious talk. I mean, we talk about the Lakers. All right, one thing, it's money season. Rui Hachimura. Give me my money now. I want it in hundreds. 21 points today. Hit a lot of threes, and, shout out to Darvin Ham. I don't think he gets enough credit for the things that he's done because, early on, people weren't really sure if that was going to mesh, the Rui and Lakers dynamic. And, first he was in the starting lineup, then he came off the bench. And then, like, just the trust that he has in his guys, and then, like, shout out to Phil Handy too, doing a lot of work with him, getting him in situations where he's comfortable, knocking down a lot of three balls. A lot of people talked about that with, Washington when he came from Washington. He was shooting a very high percentage from three, and people are going to try to see if that can translate. And it is. He's knocking down open shots, getting to the 1-2 dribble pull-up, which is his staple. Yeah. And, man, I like the way they've been handling, Rui. What are some things you've seen? Because I know you saw some in the Memphis series too of him too as well.
Oh, no, I mean, it's been great. And he's doing this off the bench, which is not easy to do. And he's coming in, putting up big numbers. Happy to see him play well. And I mean, it makes the trade look, great. I mean, it's, he gives the Lakers a different look. He can play out the post. He can get to the midi. He can put the ball on the floor, shooting three ball really well. I mean, he's helping them a lot. And, a lot of these games, he's an X factor. Kind of piggyback on game one or kind of transition to get back to game one. If we can get him to play like he did last night and also have, for me in game one, I thought the X factors were D'Angelo Russell and Dennis Schroeder.
Yep.
I feel like guards are going to win you games. It's a guards game. I thought D'Lo, really scored the ball on all three levels. And he was in attack mode the whole game, putting a lot of pressure on the defense. Not always just in terms of looking to score, but getting in the paint, kicking it out, finding guys. And, he had a nice 19, and he was just aggressive. I like the shot attempts he had. And then obviously Dennis Schroeder on the defensive end, and then it carried over to his offense. He finished with 19 as well. And if you can get those two guys, I'm not saying they have to score 20 and Rui has to have 20, but if you can get those three guys just to be in attack mode and aggressive as a group every night, along with AD and LeBron, what they're going to bring, and Austin Reeves, get him in attack mode as well. I think, you're gonna have a good chance to beat anybody, really.
Yeah, and I like that what you mentioned about D'Lo. A lot of people, when they talk about D'Lo, they talk about the 3-point shooting that he brings for the Lakers because that's something that they've needed. But man, D'Lo is very talented. Number one, and two, like how he's been getting downhill, what that does for the Lakers. Number one, he had 8 assists today. And then he's been his assist numbers have been up with the Lakers. When he drives and gets downhill, he makes things open for AD, and he's getting to that mid-range. Percentages is high. Then he can also, puts pressure on the defense to go swing action where you get those 3-point looks. And, just another score that you need. I mean, we always talk about with the Lakers, they need that third piece. They just got to let D'Lo do his thing and be aggressive, getting downhill and getting to his spots. Today was a little tougher for him because LeBron got going early in that first half. I'm pretty sure he had 21 or 19 points in that first half. He ended up with 4 points, after that.
Yeah.
And that has to change. But I think my biggest key on top of the guys that you mentioned is Austin Reeves. We need him, that to be the official Austin Reeves that everybody knows of. He had 7 points today. He's going to get going. I know it's a little different. First year in the playoffs. Foul calls is a lot different. He's not getting those foul calls that he was getting, during the regular season. And how is that, like, that dynamic, you feel like, Ray, like, with those situations? Like, being a rookie, coming in as a starter, and then, like, usually you get those foul calls getting down here. You're not getting them now. What do you feel like is the difference with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, you got to realize, who you're going against right now. You're playing against Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. You're going against some future Hall of Famers and a championship type of team. So a team like this, you're probably not going to get some of these calls, especially as a, first year in the playoffs. But I feel like he's building up a name enough this season where he has enough respect. The referees know his game. He just has to stay in attack mode, and eventually he'll get them, I think, throughout this series. But, I mean, there's no guarantee. But I think for him, like, just in the Memphis series and how he finished the end of this season, playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger out there. And I think, he's got 2 games under his belt against the Warriors. And I think game 3, hopefully we see, the Austin Reeves that we've been seeing lately.
Yeah, exactly. And, we finished with the Lakers talk. We're going to get back to that, in the next episode. But my oh my God, wow moment goes to the Milwaukee Bucks firing Mike Budenholzer. I mean, getting fired with a 69% win percentage is very different to me. I was very shocked today to hear that. I know they lost in the first round, but they were the number 1 seed too as well.
Right.
It kind of, makes me wonder, what those conversations were like, before he was let go, because, the Milwaukee Bucks are a good organization. I'm pretty sure they were in communication with them. It wasn't like a cold turkey type moment with that. But I want you to hear this stat, Ray, right?
Okay.
This is what I have for you. So the last 4 coaches to win a championship, only 1 is still with their job, right? The other 3 have been fired. That is Nick Nurse in 2019, who was just let go by the Toronto Raptors. You have the Los Angeles Lakers in 2020 who won the title with Frank Vogel. He's no longer with the Lakers, of course. Darvin Ham is in. And then Mike Budenholzer, I hope I'm not butchering his name. 2021, he's let go. The only person we have left remaining is Steve Kerr. Can you talk about it, bro?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a blessing and a curse, right? You win a championship, and then it's like, am I going to have my job here in a couple of years or not? I honestly, I really don't know. I mean, I hope with this Bucks situation, it wasn't because of they lost in the first round. One thing as a player, getting a chance to play in the league and just kind of seeing sometimes how the business goes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it doesn't always just come down to X and O's with some of these coaches. I feel like coaching in the league is one of the hardest jobs in professional sports. Mm-hmm. It's more so, I feel like, controlling the egos, controlling the team. It's tough. You got guys out here making $30 plus $40 million a season, way more than the coach is or whatever the case might be. And I think sometimes you got front offices who want to control, the team. Mm-hmm. Front offices want to control who plays, whatever the case might be. And you have a coach who wants to do it his way, his style. And I feel like, a lot of times I've been on situations where I see, maybe the head coach and the front office aren't on the same page in terms of who they want to play or how they kind of want things to go. And sometimes they kind of butt heads, and then you got, like I said, it's a players league, so you got to kind of cater to the guys a little bit, but at the same time, you got to, kind of be able to hold everything together, but it's strange because, like you said, these 4 guys have won the championship and then they get fired. I don't know. Maybe does the organization feel like, hey, we just won. Okay, we're not expecting to go back to back, but like, we need to either be in the conference finals or at least make it to the finals within the next 2 years. I really don't know, and it's kind of sad to see, man.
No, it is. I mean, and it's kind of crazy because, like, Milwaukee wins its first championship, and now the expectations are through the roof. I mean, honestly, when you have Giannis, you don't have no time to waste, to be honest.
Right.
And I understand that. But then that's what brings me to my next point is just like Giannis was out for 2 games. He wasn't healthy.
Yeah. Right.
Same with Middleton. Like Middleton wasn't really healthy this whole year, right?
Yeah.
So it's like with them aspects to the equation, it's like it's just tough for me to see him get fired. I mean,
Yeah.
so
No, I agree. I agree. And I hate to see it. It's just probably one of the strangest things ever. You have a coach who's even winning. I mean, the number 1 seed, and then to see something like that happens, man, it just also just shows you again how cutthroat the business is.
yep.
I mean, he'll be fine if he wants to coach. He'll be able to coach and get another head coaching job. So we know that will be, okay. But yeah, man, whoever wins the championship this year, if you're not Steve Kerr, never know.
Steve Kerr ain't going nowhere, bro. Heck no, bro. Heck no. He got too many rings. He got Tom Brady hands now, bro. He got the Chicago Bulls and he got the Warriors hands.
You ain't lying.
So
hey, but you know what? One thing you said about what's the difference is he's won multiples, and they were at that point they were going back to back. 2 years, maybe every year, every 2, never know more than 3. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe they trying to say you gotta be like the Warriors or something out here.
Yep. No, I agree. All right, transitioning
That's OD.
to our That's OD moment right now. Dillan Brooks' agent, Mike George, is not happy about the comments that just came out, about him. And Warrington and granted, Memphis Grizzlies have come out and also said that they're not happy about the comments. If you guys haven't heard about the comments, it was basically saying that the Memphis Grizzlies are parting ways no matter what with Dillan Brooks. Which, and like me and Ray, we've had conversations about it. I feel like it's not fair, and it's kind of whack that it had to come out this way right after, less than a week after, Memphis lost in the first round. And granted, I know people felt like it was more of a distraction, Dillan, and the whole LeBron situation. I do a lot of stuff with Lakers, and I've never seen Laker fans be on a player's head like they were with Dillan Brooks. Every time he touched the ball during warm-ups, they're booing him and screaming at him. And I've been to 1 million Laker games over these last 3 years and never have seen anything like that. And it seems like that was the narrative the whole time. So, but in the same breath, Dillan Brooks, what he brings every single night, guarding the best players on the floor, there's a lot of teams that need that. So,
Sure.
I mean, I know people want to have the memes, the jokes, and all that, but he might be a player that gets on the team, especially a team as a contender, that's going to be a thorn in your side because you know what he brings on the defensive end. Granted, though, at the same time, I'm being long-winded, but excuse me, but when you talk mess, you got to talk to the media. That's on my only thing. And I feel like if he would have talked to the media, it would have lightened the situation up, Sometimes people need that motivation going to each game. And then, with him, he should have talked to the media, in my opinion, because then it would have been like, you know what, I own up to it. We took that L. I was talking crazy, spicy, but that was how I get my motivation. If he would have said that, I would have respected it, What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that point right there. But just to backtrack a little bit, I don't know where the comment came from, if it came from the team or someone in the media wanted some clickbait. I don't know. But you just can't say we're not going to bring him back under any circumstances. You just can't put that label on a player, I don't think. Because you can kind of hurt the kid. You can kind of hurt the kid's character a little bit. But like you said, he had a solid season. Definitely can help a team out. But it's just crazy how this thing is going all viral and going everywhere. But what 3 words can change. You kind of can change your career. But I feel bad for him in the situation as a player. You don't ever want to see that happen to a player or your teammate. But I feel you. I think if he kind of took on the villain role a little bit and maybe didn't pan out the way he wanted it to pan out, and I think if it did work out that way, then people would be loving him in the situation right now. But obviously, some of the comments to LeBron maybe didn't go the way he planned. and now he's kind of taking the heat. But I don't think you keep a player down like that when he's you don't when he's in this situation to come out with those type of comments. But he's been in the league 6 years, going on year 7.
Yeah, average 17 the year
averaged
before.
17 last year.
Hey.
Like, you know what I mean? So he'll be fine, but it's just an unfortunate situation right now.
That's why it was weird. They doing the little dance, the little, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like the team camaraderie, all that. I'm like, like that's what kind of shocked me because I'm like, obviously the teammates rock with him. I mean,
because he helped them get to where they are. You know what I mean?
Bro.
It's not like, and then it's like after one series, it's like to say something like that. You just can't say that. So I don't know. Like, I hope it didn't come from them. Who knows where it came from, but yeah, it's just a situation you don't want to see.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and then like, Jaren Jackson won the Defensive Player of the Year. Like, as a shot blocker too as myself, I mean, when you got a player that's guarding the best guys every night, forcing them, driving them to the cup to help because they run a lot of roam-free defense with Jaren Jackson being able to roam and get those blocks. Dillan Brooks, I mean, you got to credit him on a lot of those things. And, probably from Memphis's outlook, if it is true, they're probably looking at David Roddy as a guy similar build, someone that could defend, knock down shots. So, but it's just weird how it came out. But, Dillan Brooks is going to be fine at the end of the day because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of teams that want him on their team because what he provides, defensively. Hopefully, the shot could start falling a little bit more for him. But defensively, what he brings every single night, I mean, you need a guy like that on your team for sure.
For sure.
Yep. Transitioning next. Hey, it's getting spicy in Puerto Rico right now. Puerto Rico is the hot spot, and we're just going to talk a little bit about what's going on down there. Right now, there's $600 million in earned NBA salary down there. Players like DeMarcus Cousins. I'm going to go over the salaries too. DeMarcus Cousins, $91 million in his NBA career, 91 plus. Hassan Whiteside, 105 plus. Brandon Knight, $80 million plus. Tyreek Evans, $75 million plus. Greg Monroe, $76 million. Kenneth Faried, $56 million plus. Elfrid Payton. Those are just some of the names that are playing. I said Hassan Whiteside, 105. Hold on, I'm going to drop the bomb too. Norris Cole. Nah, you good. And, just a little bit about the league. So right now, Puerto Rico is the new hotspot, for all the NBA guys to go there. I feel like it's honestly taking place in China in a way because usually people be like, yo, he's going to the CBA. I'm hearing more people say the NBA guys is going to Puerto Rico. So I'm going to drop the bomb on that too. And number 2, players, I mean, they have a lot of rap figures and, artists that, own these teams. Bad Bunny. Ozuna owns a team too as well. Super Dope Lifestyle. The season is from March to the end of July. Quick turnaround with a lot of bread. That's kind of the similar situation with China and CBA, which you used to see. Norris Cole told me he's getting barbershop house calls. I'm going to drop the bomb on that too. They got him pulling up to the crib to give him their haircut, and I'm pretty sure the lineup.
30 piece.
To the 30 piece.
Can't get that nowhere.
Hey, in LA, that's gonna cost up to $300 right there. Exactly. You get as soon as the house call comes up, you paying for the gas money and everything.
Hey, let them know it's 40 or 50 going to the shop for the cut.
Facts, it is 40 or 50 going to the shop. What you think about it though, bro? What you think? What you like?
Great. It's great. I love to see it. By the way, Brandon and I had a 50 piece last night.
Did see that.
I think I like it because, most of those guys that you just named probably could and should still be in the NBA, right? Mm-hmm. And they're showing that they got a lot of game left and a lot still in the tank. Mm-hmm. And, like for a lot of people might be asking, why are they going there, whatever the case might be. But a lot of those guys you named were on NBA rosters last year. So this year, when you're a vet, you've been in the league 7, 8+ years. Mm-hmm. You don't just automatically just go overseas when you still have a chance to get back into the league. So, those guys have been home working out all season, waiting for that call from the NBA. Maybe unfortunately it didn't happen, but, they're training, working on the game, keeping their body right. Puerto Rico starts, you said in March, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So you still at that point, you can be waiting for a call, 10-day, whatever. You get this opportunity to go to Puerto Rico. Obviously, they got them down there living good, paying them really well. and they getting to hoop and play at a high level. Now they're going out there showing everybody, look, I can still play. You know what I mean? I'm doing my thing out here. And most importantly, like, it looked like they're having fun, man. Like, I'm sure the whole season this past year was super stressful, waiting on the call. You're hitting up your agent every day, your family, your wife, your girl, like, what's going on? What we doing? You know, now you know you can go play somewhere, and they're getting a lot of exposure, you know, and don't let one of these guys sneak their way back into the league. If one of these guys sneaks their way back into the league from Puerto Rico, man, everybody's going to try to go out there. Lance Stevenson is out there hooping right now. You know, me being out here in Europe, I know 3 players in Europe have left Europe, and they're over there playing right now. I know everybody over here in Europe, when the season's done, end of May, June, they trying to go back out there and get 8 or 9 games in.
You said left Europe like on the buyout?
One player got a buyout.
Bro, first off, a league in Puerto Rico getting a buyout is kind of crazy, dog. To be honest, I haven't heard of that. To be real,
different out there. Yeah,
hey, it got to be different.
I've never heard that either. But yeah, they're moving different out there now. And then yeah, man, I think it's I mean, it's been around for years. And back in the day, I think a lot of former or current guys who weren't on NBA rosters would go play. But what you're seeing now, like what you said, Bad Bunny and all these rappers, these guys owning teams and investing in. I mean, I've seen some of the teams flying guys over private, you know, and put them on the PJ, you know, got them in the houses. You know what I mean? They're living good. So why would you not want to do that?
Hold on, we going X Games
mode. Oh, my God. He on X Games mode.
Hey, you taking the private jet, boy? Hold on, bro. The PJ? Hey, hold on. I've never heard of the PJ. Hold on.
Hey, the players ain't chartered them jets either. The team sent them on over that.
Man, that's tough. Hey, you know, and I'm all for this, too, to be honest with you, because, you know, for the longest time, like, people were afraid of, like, oh, what it does to your resume as a player, like going to these places. Now Japan is hot. Taiwan is hot. You see Dwight Howard doing this thing, you know, in Taiwan too. You know, Taiwan got like 4 leagues. You know, Jeremy Lin's in a separate league from Dwight Howard. I don't know if you guys knew that. But it just, the change of the culture. Before it was all Europe. Now, look, we got Puerto Rico doing this thing. Now we got Taiwan, we know Asia, Japan. You know, now we starting to see, man, get your bread where you can.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't really say that, but I'm starting to hear more players come out and say that, and I like to hear it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the dynamic's changing drastically. Like, after COVID, the markets have, like, kind of taken a whole huge shift. Like, with Europe, unless you're on, like, I feel like a high-level European team or maybe a team in Europe that's playing European competition, you know, this is still solid. The bag is there. Obviously, high level Europe is for sure. You know, it's just second best outside of the NBA, no question, and EuroLeague.
Yeah.
And then you start looking at guys like going to Japan or Korea or Taiwan, like you're saying, because a lot of these Asian markets, obviously Puerto Rico now too, they're paying guys. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's all about money, but you grind and working hard in your game. Like, you don't want to do this for free, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, like my boy Stan Kidd is out in Japan. This is his first season. And I talk to him all the time, and he's been telling me nothing but, you know, great things, how he loves it out there. A lot of guys go there and they want to play there 3, 4, 5 years, you know, and those guys are getting paid out there.
Mm-hmm.
You also see guys been going to Australia as well. I think Australia, the bag is getting up there more and more every year. I mean, they got a crazy fan base. And you see a lot of guys go to Australia and then come to Europe, they double dip, or they go to Australia now and they're going to Puerto Rico, they're double dipping, getting 2 contracts essentially in the same season. And then, yeah, like I said, the Asian market, everybody always knew about China and the CBA. That's always the hotbed. That's where you can, you know, go over there and make 7 figures, whatever the case might be, depending on who you are. But now, like, I think like Taiwan and Japan and all these other markets are seeing that, you know, maybe some of these guys aren't making the type of money that, you know, they used to pass out in Europe. Why don't we go and get these guys and try to bring them over here? Got Dwight Howard, Jeremy Lin. You know, they're making a ton of money, obviously, and they're helping building that league as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see where guys start going to play over the next, you know, 2 or 3 years, I think.
Yes, sir. Nah, I completely agree with you. We see the change. And, you know, the last thing about Puerto Rico, though, I'm going to put a disclaimer on it because, you know, I played in DR, and it's very similar to Puerto Rico because a lot of the guys from DR play in the Puerto Rican league out there, too. The league is cutthroat now.
Man.
You play bad 2
Let 'em know they can
games.
send you home.
Hey,
They
you
can
can
send
sit
you
home.
tomorrow.
Hey, there might be some guys too. If you one of them borderline guys, you might come off that plane. You play bad 1 game and you're gonna get sent home. I'm gonna drop the bomb on that too. It's serious out there. You guys got to perform. Even though you're an NBA guy, there's been some guys that have been released too. So, and people are probably like, do you get your full bread? Probably not. I mean, it's going to be tough to fight that off. You're probably going to get a prorated salary, which means like the time that you were there, that's going to be an amount that kind of, accumulates to the salary that you were kind of supposed to get. So it's going to go by days more so than you getting your full salary. Am I correct with that?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure. Okay. I bet. Nah. You got anything?
I mean, when you say cutthroat, I don't think they realize the level of cutthroat. Like, you can be over there averaging 20, hooping like 25, maybe almost 30, and still get cut. Your team loses 2-3 games, and you got a guy like, I don't know, Lance just showed up, or you got a big name guy who's like, you know what, I want to go over there and play. Sometimes, even though you're doing your thing, they might say, hey, we're going to have to slide you up out of here and we're going to bring somebody else in. That's just how the business goes, man. So,
In fact,
it's really
and that can happen too. Because just imagine, people don't know the atmosphere. It honestly got a little bit of rap culture vibe to it. You got people with the chains on in there, like high-end guys. Like, they start losing games. Then they like, man, get this man out of here. We need one of them top dogs. Because you see DeMarcus, guys like that, Lance, like you said, Brandon Knight getting 50, like all these guys that made high figures overseas and have popular names. I mean, shoot, we look what DeMarcus Cousins has done in his NBA career. And like they got a guy of that magnitude, playing there, shoot. And then you got to go against Hassan Whiteside on another night. So, that just kind of shows you, how the league is. But yeah, first episode out the way. I appreciate y'all. We're going to have more heat consistently coming at you. I appreciate y'all taking the time. We're going way up.
Way up.
And Ray, sign us off, Brody. What you got?
Now we're back. We got it coming for y'all, man. Stay tuned. And it's time to get it.
Appreciate it.